So I just wanted to make this video today because the other day I was trying to go to Publix and they wouldn't let you in unless you had a mask, and I personally have not purchased any masks like the ones that you would get, like say if you were in a waiting room and you saw the masks. That's what everyone's kind of wearing right now. I have not purchased that. I think on Amazon it's probably like a month wait or something like that. So what I did instead, which actually I kind of stumbled upon it by accident, which I thought it was kind of crazy that I was trying to look up like a DIY mask, but like in terms of, you know, like a avocado mask or a oatmeal mask or something like that. And it was crazy to me that I had to, you know, like clarify. But the one that I'll show you today was actually made by the CDC. Like the CDC went ahead and put this out there, kind of saying, okay, if you're going to make a mask, this is what you should do. It will stop the spread. So if you have it and you're an asymptomatic carrier, you're less likely to give it. And if you are walking around when, you know, doing your grocery shopping or anything, then you are less likely to get it. So that's great. So the whole point of this is that it's kind of like things that you already have in your home. Hopefully you have these items. They're not really anything extra. I'll go ahead and show you what you'll need. So today I'll be showing you two different options just in case you might not have one or the other. For the first mask, all you'll really need is a bandana, coffee filter, some rubber bands or hair ties if that's what you have instead, and that's it. No sewing or anything involved, and then you're good. And then the other one, you just need an old t-shirt and some scissors, and that's it. No talent needed whatsoever. So this is the one I personally prefer. It is just the coffee filter and bandana option. I like it because I feel like it's a little bit extra. I do like that even though a coffee filter is not going to do a whole lot in comparison to the N95 mask, I do feel like it is a little bit better than having a t-shirt. And I know a lot of people are just kind of putting a t-shirt over their head, but I do feel like even the one that I will make that's basically that is just a t-shirt, I feel like having one that is kind of cut out and made to go over your face is better than just throwing a t-shirt over your head in general. But yeah, this is the one that I do prefer, but I know some people don't have coffee filters or they don't have bandanas or they don't have rubber bands or whatever. So this is the one that I did wear out and it was great. Sorry. It was good for what I needed it for. I was just going to Publix and they sure enough let me in, no problem, and it's comfortable. You can wash it. That's my favorite part, honestly. I think that's kind of a big obstacle right now because the masks are very expensive. And if you're a family of 5 and you buy a box, you're gonna go through it very quickly. And I especially feel like the people that are still working every day, like if you are working at Walmart, Publix, or really anywhere, but you can't afford to buy a ton of masks, or if you have a big family, or if you just don't have access to it, that's the biggest thing, is that if I wanted to get a mask right now, I have no idea how I would get it today. And if I did not have any access to a mask, that means I can't go to the grocery store right now. Especially, I live in Florida, I live in North Miami Beach, and they will not let you anywhere. So it's definitely important to make sure that you have one, just so that you are able to go outside and, you know, actually go about your day. But, you know, I mean, it's also important to go out the least amount as possible. This is a way to decrease the spread while allowing yourself to still live a little bit. I know that my weekly trip to the grocery store is very much appreciated, but that's really all I do when I go outside. But it's nice to know that these are things that you can do to stay safe, and it's just with the supplies that you have in your home. So anyways, let's jump right into it. First up, I'm going to be doing the t-shirt one. So I am very gross. I do not have a ruler, and what they said to do basically is to cut out 7 to 8 What I did, because I wanted to be somewhat accurate, is I And I guess this is a little extra DIY, but I didn't want to show you because some people don't like feet. But I looked up how much, this is embarrassing, but I looked up my shoe size, which is a 6.5, and how many inches that is. So 6.5 shoe size is 9 inches. So I put my foot next to the shirt and I subtracted a toe basically, and that was my 7 to 8 inches. And then I went on the other side and I subtracted kind of like a toe and a half, and that was my 6 to 7 inches. So yep, anyways, moving right along. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut this way. So now we have this. Then what you're going to do is you're going to basically cut this way. Here. And then this is what you're going to use over your head. So I'm gonna put my hair. Forehead game strong. Okay, so now what you're gonna do, take this side and tie it over your head. All right, so let's see if I can figure it out this time. Alrighty, so I think that I have a big head and I needed more than 6 to 7 inches of whatever. So I'm just gonna cut a little bit extra and see if that helps. Okay, so I think that's basically what it's going to look like. It looks kind of, I feel like a turtle, but that's okay because I'm safe. Wow, my lips look giant. This is kind of scary. Okay, but good thing about this is that it is covering me very well. Sorry, it's so funny to look at. Let me take this off. Okay, but you get the gist. Tie it at the top of your head and at the bottom. You can kind of adjust it to size as long as it's covering all of this, so your mouth and your nose and everything. Okay, I'm taking it off. So the good thing about that is that you can basically make as many as you want, or like depending on how many extra shirts you have, and also you can wash it, which is important. I think that some people don't really understand that you're not really supposed to reuse what you, like if you have a mask, you're not supposed to reuse it a million times. It kind of defeats the purpose of having it. If anything, you might be making it a little worse than if you were to just go outside and use it, like in terms of yourself. But like if you use the mask and then are constantly reusing it, you might be helping other people, not spread it to them, but you're kind of just increasing your likelihood of getting it every time you put it on, especially if you're wearing it pretty often. So using something like this that you can actually throw it in the washer with everything else, or you can literally make another one, that just kind of makes more sense than, I mean, of course, if you have access to a ton of masks, then you can go ahead and use that, the ones that are actually being sold. But if you need to make one, I think this is really a great option. Anyways, on to the next one. So this is the bandana, coffee filter, and rubber band option. I did see one that I liked that was, that one was using an air filter, like they took a bandana, and rather than using a coffee filter, they used an air conditioner filter, which I think is very great. I feel like that's kind of expensive, but if you are very serious about, you're making it, if you are very serious about making a mask, then that is a great option in my opinion. For now, I just have a little coffee filter. I feel like it does something. I feel like this is a little bit extra than the one I just showed you, but the one I just showed you is great as well. So this, it literally took me 2 seconds to make. I made it for myself and my boyfriend right before we went to Publix, and I just made it in a snap. So you just fold it in half. So you had it like this. This is the full way. You're just folding it in half. And then whenever I looked on the CDC website, I think that they took off the coffee filter option. And I understand that. Maybe I was just crazy and I just kind of put coffee filter in there in my head because I thought it would be a good idea. But it could also be that people were reusing these masks without replacing the coffee filter, which is again something that could make it worse. So if you are going to use this option, you should be taking the coffee filter out, cleaning the bandana, putting a new coffee filter in, and then using this mask that I'm about to make. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this here. I think it's better to fold it, but so now this is the next step. You just fold it like that, and then like this. And then now you're going to go ahead and get your rubber bands or your hair ties. So I just have the 2 rubber bands, and so you see that I have a big head, but my boyfriend has an even bigger head. And so what I did for him, which I'll show you that option after, but you need 4 rubber bands for that. Or you can be using the hair ties, but my hair ties are precious. So what you're going to do next is you're just putting this here. So right about until you feel the coffee filter. And then on the other side, so you feel the coffee filter, you fold it in like this until it looks like that. And then what you're gonna do is take these and you're gonna put these around your ear. So you're gonna take the rubber bands, you're gonna put it around your ear like this, after you folded it like that. So ear and ear. And now you have a mask. And it's very easy to breathe, comfortable, good. I'll show you also what I did for my big-headed boyfriend. I basically took this rubber band and I kind of just added. So as you can see, I'm just going to do this, just kind of like a knot, pull it, and I did that to both sides because it was hurting him and it was uncomfortable, and I knew that if it's not comfortable, then people are less likely to wear it because they think it's a hindrance, even though now it's required, obviously. This is basically what it looks like. Nice and long, you have a lot to work with. And then it's probably easier to put it on and take it off. So now there's a lot of space. But yeah, it doesn't work for me. It's perfect for if you have someone that might have a bigger head, or I don't know, maybe it makes it more comfortable for them. And I also now I have 3 masks. It took me 10 minutes. I mean, it took me 10 minutes because I was showing you, but if I were to make it on my own, all of those masks take literally a minute to make. You just need the supplies, and a lot of times you have them at home, and that's the whole point, is that you need what you have at home in order to be able to go out and get things right now, basically. Okay, so a little bit about me, and I guess kind of why you should be listening to me. So I have another 4 months until I'm done with my 2nd year of medical school, which, I mean, that's not anywhere close to being a doctor. I still have so much to go, but I'm kind of halfway through for getting my MD. And then also I have been a certified nursing assistant for 4 years now. Yeah, 4 years, maybe more. Yeah, more than, basically the day I turned 18, I became a CNA. And I've also been a patient care technician, even a lifeguard. Those you have to have pretty good hand equipment. That was at Disney World. And then also a pharmacy tech. And you know, I have been in, if there's one thing that I know, it's how to wash my hands and how to basically be sanitary. So I just want to do a quick little tip too for what I've been doing at the grocery store, because I do see people using their gloves or just being cautious about what they touch, which is great. I just don't like seeing people reuse things, like I've said like 3 times in this video or whatever amount, but reusing gloves is just not a good idea. And also when you have gloves on, you tend, I think it's just kind of both, like the gloves and the mask, in my opinion, kind of give people a false sense of security. So I think it's good to maybe show you how I use my mask. And I think that this is how I use my gloves and mask, and maybe just a quick little tip. So my advice is to just have one glove at a time, because I feel like, at least for me, I tend to, you tend to get a notification and then you, without thinking, will go to grab your phone. Or you'll go and try to grab your wallet or something, and that's hard to remember to sanitize every time, but it is easy to take off a glove. So whenever you are grocery shopping or touching things that you know you shouldn't really be, that just about a million people could have touched within the last amount of time. So what I do, and what I kind of hope you would be able to do, is, this is my hand sanitizer. So you go ahead and sanitize both hands. And hopefully, I'm using a glove that isn't in a box, but once you take it out of the box and kind of throw your glove around, it's not really sterile anymore. This is just an example, but hopefully both your hands are sterile now, and you are taking the glove out of the box and you just put it on one hand. And then you go about your day when you're shopping, and you just go ahead and so you're going about your day and you're touching everything, and you're checking your phone with, you're checking your phone with this, you're taking your keys out, you're paying for something with your wallet with this hand, all of your personal items. And this hand has just been sanitized. Hopefully you're not touching anything else. So I had a hand sanitizer on this, I'm only touching my personal items, and this one I'm grabbing everything at the grocery store. So another reason that I do like to have one glove at a time too is that it is a little bit simpler to take off just one glove rather than 2, because if you're taking off 2 gloves, it tends to be a bit more difficult to try to keep the glove in one hand. It's just a bit more challenging. So what you're gonna do to keep this hand still clean is you're gonna go inside, because if you think about it, you washed your hand before you put this on. So you're gonna go inside and take the glove off from the inside. So you're doing that, and then you're just taking it off like this. And then there you go. And now you can go ahead and use both hands. And as soon as you do that, it's best to go ahead and put your hand sanitizer on anyways. And now you can go ahead and, open your car door, touch your steering wheel, because if you were to leave your gloves on throughout that time, you were touching your phone, you were touching your steering wheel probably when you went back inside, and I do see a lot of that, and it's just kind of crazy. I think it is good to have a glove on, or even if you're going to use both gloves, go ahead. It's just that when you're not using the proper technique, you tend to actually be harming yourself rather than helping. So that was just my quick little thing. Anyways, I really hope that everyone is staying safe. We are doing something big for ourselves. We're keeping ourselves nice and healthy. Even though I'm 22 years old, I can still get very, very sick. I know plenty of people who have at least one person. This is really touching at least one close person to everyone. Everyone's starting to feel, if not now, then maybe later, but you're starting to feel personal connections to this. Before it seemed like it was something very distant, but now everyone's kind of feeling the gravity of it, the gravity of the situation. Yeah, again, even I'm 22, I know that I could get very sick, and I know that I could make my loved ones very sick, and it's crazy. I don't look at any of the statistics because I feel like they're not very valid in that we're not really getting the test done. We have no idea how many people have gotten it and then fought it off. So I think it's just good to be, like all the doctors will say on YouTube or anywhere, they'll tell you that it's good to be alert but not anxious, and that's true, because once you get anxious, and yeah, it just doesn't help. But yeah, just remember that this is for something very big. You're helping yourself and your community and essentially the world. So the best thing that you can do right now is to make sure that you are healthy, because if you are healthy, then you are less likely to get it. You're going to, or if you do, your immunity will fight it off. Because right now, if you're sitting at home, it's great if you're Netflixing and chilling and all of that, but if you're sitting at home not getting any sunlight, not drinking enough water, or kind of not eating any fruits or anything, I know it tends to be kind of difficult, especially snacking at home when you have not a whole lot to do. I know that's hard, but that's the best thing you can do. You can just drink a ton of water, just like try your hardest to maybe take a multivitamin. I mean, I don't think that'll fight off the coronavirus, but I think that it's great. This is a great time to just make sure that you're meeting all of your body's needs right now, because that's what will really help yourself and the community. So take care of yourself and everyone around you. Bye. Can we take a moment for my shirt? She wants the MD.